everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Utopia podcast. I am Chris. Tommy is out on assignment tonight, so we have a special guest host. It's Rombic21. Tom, how are you?
Doing great, Chris. Doing great.
This past week for NCAA Football has been a very busy and interesting week, to say the least, so let's get right to the news. First off, this week on EA Sports Live on Wednesday, June 17th, producer Ben Howmiller will be on the air, and on that day he will announce when the demo will be coming out for NCAA Football 10. It's expected that it'll be either this week or next. So make sure to keep checking ncaaStrategies.com. We'll have that date posted as soon as Ben announces it. This week, the first blogs will go up on the Inside EA Sports blog for NBA Live 10. We're hoping that they will also state what new features to that franchise will be in NCAA Basketball 10. Hopefully they will do a good job with that so people know what will be the differences and similarities between the pro and college basketball title. This week, the first big news that came out was not good news at all. As we talked about last week on the show, some of the rosters built into the Team Builder website were not very good, to put it nicely. Very few freshmen, some issues with graduated seniors. Well, this week, some of the developers came out and said, yes, there's been an issue with the rosters. While it's not entirely clear what has or has not happened, they have said that this roster file, for better or worse, is on the Team Builder site and in the final version of the game, that they are working to resolve this, and there's a chance that there's going to be a patch or some resolution hopefully met around the time of the release of the game. Tom, I know you've been following this. What are kind of your thoughts on Rostergate 2009?
Well, it's kind of baffling. I mean, how did we get to a point where we got these, they seem to be horribly messed up rosters onto sort of not only the final version of the game, but also on the Team Builder site. So I'm just kind of baffled as to how something like that could happen. I don't know.
I think I'm in the same boat. I really can't wrap my mind around it. I know on the forums tonight I was reading it, and somebody had said the comment, he goes, I can't wait for the Utopia podcast to hear what they have to say about the rosters and some other issues. I really don't know what to say, because I can't really wrap my mind around what may or may not have happened. We probably won't be privy to the information of what exactly did transpire. I am baffled. I know in the past we always say that EA does a bad job with rosters, but in the grand scheme of things, they're actually pretty good, especially after seeing this year's edition on the Team Builder site and now knowing it somehow it's also in the final build of the game. Just really head-scratching, especially after last year's roster issue where after they added in the 120th team Western Kentucky, if you remember in NCAA Football 09, it led to a lot of issues. If you went to edit the rosters or players, it led to some big bug. So this is really the second year in a row of some sort of roster issue. The good news is last year when myself and some other guys found that bug, it was days before release. Well, this year we're at least a month plus before release when they found this issue with the rosters. So hopefully that'll mean some kind of resolution, and hopefully a great resolution around the release date. And I'll let you answer this. If they can resolve this around the time of release, do you think that'll help smooth it over a little bit?
I think so. I think people will get over it pretty quickly if they've got it sort of resolved. I mean, either on release or a week or two after. I think people will get over it fairly quickly. I mean, the game will be out. It'll be out for a whole year. So if we've got inaccurate rosters for a couple of days or a week, I think it'll be okay. Yeah,
that's the big key. Hopefully they can get that fixed. I know we're all pulling for them to come through. Big props to Greg, Ab, and Russ for coming out and letting us know about the issue and letting us know what's going on, that they're working on this. This week on the blog, we didn't have a written blog, but we had a video entry, and it was talking about some of the essential gameplay changes and additions to the NCAA Football 10. A big part of it, over 1,000 new animations. That's a huge, huge addition for a franchise. Really does a lot for the game. Tom, I want you to talk about what are kind of a couple of your favorite additions that you saw in this video, which people can find at ncaaStrategies.com or on our YouTube channel.
And a new animation that I'm really the most excited to see is the defensive tipped passes, because I can see that really changing, resulting in a lot of new sort of interactions and situations that haven't been in place before. I know if you guys are familiar, we've had defensive linemen who have batted balls down before, but it's generally been like the defensive lineman would swat it and it would almost go immediately to the turf, or it would be completely uncatchable. These are now deflected passes that kind of flutter up into the air, and they can result in interceptions, or sometimes a receiver can catch it off sort of the deflection. And it sort of seems to create some really cool interactions there that I'm really looking forward to see how that plays out a little bit more, because I think that may add a little bit more realism to it, not just a visually pleasing thing, but also some realism. And then I'm also really excited. The wide receiver jostling stuff, I think, has potential to have a real impact on that. I know one of the things people have talked about in the past has been sort of wide receivers and DBs sort of fighting for the ball and those interactions not necessarily being there. And I think seeing that like the jostling animations will really help in that. And I'm sort of excited to see if that has the impact on gameplay that I think it looks like it has a potential to.
Earlier tonight, I played a game against Utopia and a TTU and IU fan. I believe that's his screen name. I know he likes those two schools, so I hope that's right. In it, we had a couple sequences where we would hit the other quarterback, and we knew that the other guy wanted to pass the ball, but it wasn't going. And that's where layered blending, a new addition of Fantasy Football 10, comes in that I'm really excited for. After playing tonight, it made me really excited for it. That, when you're going down, the quarterback's getting hit, you have to decide, do you want to take that sack or pass it? This year, when you start going down, you can still pass that ball away, but the accuracy is going to be affected greatly. You might throw a duck. It might be way off kilter. That's one of the features that initially I thought was pretty cool, but then when I go back and play 09 a little bit in kind of the last few weeks before 10 comes out, to me this jumped out, especially after seeing it in the video. Yeah. Layered blending, being able to throw out of sacks is just going to be a huge addition.
You see that all the time. I mean, you see that all the time, especially with like the more aware quarterbacks of being able to still get a pass off or throw it away or something like that when they're getting sacked. So it'd be cool to see in the game.
The video, again, is at ncaaStrategies.com or on our YouTube channel. Check it out. At the end, it shows some comparison videos between 09 and 10. I hope they do more of these, not only in video form, but also written form, letting us know. I think people really like to see the changes because some of this under the hood changes, we may not always notice right away, so it's kind of neat to see what they've done behind the scenes. We're going to have a few more news items we'll get to here real quickly before we wrap up the show. First off, it came out today, GameSpot and other media sites have their copies of the games, so be sure to check out GameSpot and other sites, and we'll link to them at ncaaStrategies.com. They have the game, they're posting videos, impressions, answering questions. One tidbit came out today that EA hadn't planned to really announce yet, that we're going to discuss that at a later date, but it's premium downloadable content. Not being received very welcome, which is to be expected. A lot of downloadable content is not welcome to the community. They don't like paying for extra. But a lot of this are recruiting accelerants in Dynasty mode. Tom, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, from what it sounds like to me, these are things that I'm with most of the community. I'm not all that excited about it, but it sounds to me like they're the kinds of things they don't necessarily give people like a boost that's like makes them like superhuman, or to use a figure like impossible to defeat. I mean, they're things that you could overcome just by playing sort of the natural sort of way. So I guess I'm a little bit indifferent, but I'm also a little bit. I guess there's a part of me that cringes a little bit when I see starting to charge for downloadable stuff and adding in boosts that can be used for things like online Dynasty, where you can potentially be somebody's paying money to get a competitive advantage in a competitive environment. That part I'm a little bit concerned about, but it sounds to me like they're not really that overpowered in terms of the boost that people are able to buy.
You're right. It's really a fine line to walk. Tiger Woods 10 that came out this week. In years past, a lot of the items you could unlock through the Tiger Challenge and now what's called the Tournament Challenge. Well, this year you can go in and you can buy all that stuff. You don't have to play the game to get it. That it's more of if you want to view it as a time saver. It's all things you can unlock and do naturally throughout the course of playing the game, except now, to make it easier, you can pay for it. Not a huge fan of it, but so long as it doesn't, like you said, is a real game changer. It's not going to improve the way somebody plays. It might help them a little bit in recruiting, get better players, but a lot of this is on a yearly basis, that if you pay for it, it's only effective for one season. So you have to pay for it each year in your dynasty, which I think people might do it once or twice, but that's going to be really expensive to do it throughout the course of a dynasty. We also found out confirmation on the team builder slots. We'll kind of go through this and just lay it out for everybody. If you buy the game new, you will get a code inside your box to give you 12 slots to download and keep 12 teams on your hard drive at any time. If you pre-order from GameStop or EB Games, you'll get a code from them for an additional 13 slots to give you 25. If you buy the game used or rent it, you'll have to use downloadable content to get slots. And if you do that, or even if you buy the game new and want more slots, you can go to the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Live Marketplace and pay for slots, and you will get all 120. You'll get 120 slots. Even though you can only put 12 in a dynasty at a time, you can get up to 120 slots in one fell swoop. This is not good for people who buy the game used or rent it. Hopefully the cost for the 120 is really cheap, or maybe they'll offer somehow maybe a one free team downloadable content. Also tonight, we got to give props to one of our Utopia members. I believe it was Mr. Hitstick. I hope I'm giving the right guy the right credit. His Game Informer magazine this month gives our first look at Road to Glory. As expected, it features Aaron Andrews. And if you want to see the article, visit ncaaStrategies.com. And like we said, make sure to check out media sites as they are getting their copies, and we'll be sharing information and news on the game. So, for Tom, this is Chris. Tom, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Everyone, thanks for listening to this edition of the Utopia podcast.